fantastic. I didn't know. My brother arranged to have quite a few of my really dear friends come to this. And it means a lot to me. They came from a long way. And, but I'll say it anyway. You know, Bud always tells people that he's the older and wiser and better looking brother. And I said, well, you got the older part down. But, you know, I have the same theme. The coaches had a big influence on me. And I wanted to just mention very briefly. Coach Burt was one of my coaches for 2 years at Terranova, and he was very big on fundamentals. So it was a good start. He was big, you know, passing, dribbling, you know, especially rebounding, blocking out, that type of thing. But one of the things he was very into was tipping or keeping the ball alive offensively. And I don't know if you realize that's a kind of an important trait. So I went out, or my dad probably went out, and bought a tipping ring, which is a piece of metal that you put over a hoop that's only 9 inches round, and a basketball is 9 inches round. So it takes a big effort to go down from there. And I spent hours and hours in the backyard tipping and tipping. And I didn't know this, but it helped me later on at Gonzaga. I was able to play the small forward position because even against taller players, because I was able to tip the ball. So Coach Burt was instrumental in helping me develop that part of my game. Coach Delbon, I had him for 2 years. He was just the greatest guy to play for. He was always positive. Where's Coach Delbon? All right. There he is. Fantastic. He was always positive. I mean, I thought I was shooting the ball every time I touched it. And he told my dad one time, he says, the only problem Jim has with his game is he doesn't shoot enough. Now, every player wants to hear that, right? And it does help. And some of these guys I played with at Gonzaga can testify that I took that to heart. But seriously, the best shooter I've ever seen wasn't a player at Terranova, but it was a coach, Don Delbon, could flat out shoot. I mean, we would play shooting games after practice, and he just kept going further out and further out. And you remember this, Mike, he could hit threes before the NBA threes, before there were NBA threes. And you look like you could still shoot it, coach. So I appreciate that. That helped with my game for it. Bud mentioned Bud Presley. He was a significant influence on me going to Gonzaga. He's kind of a Bobby Knight type of coach, except he never got a technical. But very strong personality. When he came to Terranova to recruit me, you know, I just kind of sat there in awe because he'd already written a book on defense and very intense coach. And when he offered me a scholarship, you know, I didn't think I could say no. So I said, okay, I'll do it. He didn't tell me that Spokane has this white stuff. It's kind of cold. I hadn't seen any of this stuff they call snow. But it was a great experience. You know, he wrote a book on defense. He was defensive minded. You could score 20 points and have 10 rebounds. And what he cared about most is whether you took the charge. And you remember that, Gil. And half of practice was each guy running into each other, taking the charge. And he was really, really great that way. He treated everybody the same. That's what was special about him. He was hard on all of us. It was like going through a boot camp. And to this day, some of my closest friends are from Gonzaga, and some of them are here today. So I really appreciate that. The best thing that happened to me at Gonzaga was I met a really cute cheerleader. Oh, she's here tonight. Stand up, Pauline. So we've been cheering for each other, folks, since 1969. Is that it? Yeah, I appreciate it. So she had something to do with some of these surprise gifts here today. My first coach was my brother Bud. Really, he never actually coached me, but he had these weird sayings that he would tell me. You know, if I come back from a baseball game or a basketball game, you know, and I kind of had a bad off day or whatever, he'd say, you know, and I tried to make excuses or whatever, and he'd say, "Don't be an alibi Ike." I'm not sure who Ike is, but so he told me, "Don't make excuses for not doing well." But one of his favorite sayings was, "You win some, you lose some, and some are rained out, but you show up for them all." And I thought, well, that's a really good lesson. Because you're in a team sport like basketball, you know, there are your teammates are counting on you and you show up. I'm not sure how many basketball games are rained out, but I'll figure that out eventually. But actually, I'd like to finish by thanking my teammates. Some are here tonight, which is very special. There is one guy I want to point out that wasn't a teammate, but he had an influence on my game. That was Gary Hernandez. And Gary had an idea. He was only a sophomore. And he said, I was going to work out between my junior and senior year, get ready for senior year. And, working out by yourself in the summer is not that much fun. So Gary says, I'm going to come up and work out with you. So we'd go, and every day we'd run and worked out. Coach Letterman looked like this. We ran by half a mile, right? We thought we were running. Then we'd jump rope and dribble between the chairs. It was great. And then we'd end up every day with a one-on-one session, and that was really good for my ego anyway. Seriously, Terry went on to be a great college baseball player and a very successful businessman with State Farm. He also said at the cocktail hour that if I mentioned his name, I'd get some kind of discount. So, is that true?
Absolutely. Thank you for that insight.
I do want to thank the selection committee for this honor. It's very nice. And Horace Henshaw, these things just don't happen. You know that. You put a lot of effort into it, and I really appreciate that. I'm sure that other people appreciate that too. And finally, I'd just like to thank my friends and family for making it here tonight. And did I make it under the wire? Close. Thank you very much.
Well, I'd say we're off to a good start. If not, my stepkids Googled a bunch of sports jokes for me, so if it all goes south, I've got a plan B. Or I can invite Jim back